Guys, right now, I'm supposed to be in bed. But as I was laying there, the Lord just dropped something else in my spirit. Uh, my subscriber count is dropping. This is not what He dropped in my spirit, but I'm putting it out there, guys, because as I am touching on these topics and talking about these things, boy, the count is just dwindling. But you know what? That's not what I'm here for. So if we really get down to like it's just 10 of us here, or two or zero, that is fine. That is fine. I'm not on this channel for likes. I'm not on this channel for subs. And I chuckled. I said, well, Lord, here we go. So, guys, the word of the Lord, something that God placed in my spirit as I was laying there, guys, is this whole sage situation that's going on. You see, all that's going on. I think it was a Pastor Jamal. I'm not sure if his full name or whatever, but I think it started there. I'm sorry if I cough. My fan is going. And then it's been spiraling, and you're seeing everybody on their platforms talking about sage, whether it's good or it's bad. Guys, I don't believe in sage. I don't believe in burning of sage. Nothing in no type, form, fashion. Okay, that's me, but that's not why I'm here. Why I'm on this platform is to let you know that the Lord is saying this is just another distraction. This whole sage argument and debate that's going on between the believers, it's nothing more than another distraction. Not that it negates away or takes away from what is being said, but the way it's just on different platforms and you see it being echoed and repeated, and is sage okay? Is not sage okay? It's not this. God is saying this is nothing more than distraction. Christians are always finding themselves under the ball of debate. The Christians of today live to debate, live to argue, and mull over topics and issues and not see the bigger picture. God is saying believers are, oh my gosh, how am I going to put this? What God showed me in my mind is like a dung beetle. Those are the most disgusting things. And by no means is He calling His children dung beetles, but the theory of it is a dung beetle gets this little thing and they roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. And they spend so much time rolling it till it becomes this big old stinky thing. And that's the thing with a lot of believers. God is saying that believers get so caught up with things that don't really matter that they're losing the bigger picture. They'll sit there and hem and haw over some sage. They'll hem and haw over whether women should be speaking in the church. They'll hem and haw over, whether or not you can get remarried after divorce. They'll hem and haw over things, but not looking at the bigger picture, which is, listen, we're here to win souls. God is saying in these last days, these are the little things that the enemy is going to drop. Debates and things for people to sit and argue about and talk about. God is saying there's people who sit there and say, I don't burn sage, but listen, you're sleeping around. You don't burn sage, but guess what? You go read the daily horoscopes. You don't burn sage, but guess what? You buy all types of little sculptures and things and have it in your home and pictures and paintings and candles. God is saying you don't burn sage, but you are a repetitive liar. You don't burn sage, but guess what? You practice heresy. You don't burn sage, but you want to believe parts of the Bible while omitting other parts of the Bible. God is saying, let's not get caught up on and get hung up on these things. This topic of sage and all these things, if people are walking in the Spirit, then they're going to be led by the Spirit on what God says about that. He's going to tell them. But what happens is there's distractions, this big thing that's dropped down, and everyone's, oh, it's this, it's sage, sage, sage. Just like the whole thing of the coronavirus, it's another distraction, guys. It's not it's not that it's not a serious issue or a serious matter, but the way that it's, how believers will take that and they run with it. Believe they are the scare mail, and they talking about it, talking about it, talking about it, not talking like we're on top of this and God's in control, but fear. And God is saying the thing is that we need to look at is to see past all the distractions and see what the focus need to be in this last day. The last days are winning souls. Is this really the time to sit and argue over sage? Or is it about, listen, people are going to believe what they're going to believe. Move on. Those who are led by the Spirit of God is going to get straight information and revelation on what sage is, what it's about, and whether or not it's supposed to be used or not. When you're sitting and you're debating and you see believers arguing, God is saying we will sit here and we'll talk, we'll split hairs on sage, but in other ways you're walking in darkness. So let us work on getting before the Lord, getting before the Spirit, being changed and being cleansed by God's Spirit so that He can show us our hearts and put us on the track to do His work in these last days. Believe you me, our work in these last days is not to be arguing and debating over no sage. In these last days, it's not to be debating and arguing over silly topics. People know better. You better know that. People know better. People that want to introduce sage and stuff, they know what they're doing. Stop trying to get in these conversations with people of, oh, well, I'm using it for this. They know exactly why they're getting it. It's not just because things smells good, period. Leave people alone in what they want to do, because before you talk to them, God already drops it in their spirit. We're talking about believers here. God already tell them, but they put it in their head what they gonna do and how they gonna sanctify a already preordained bush to do what they want to do. So guys, listen, stop. What God is telling me today is this. There's going to be a lot of new topics and a lot of new things that people are going to sit and debate about. God says, step out of the debates, step out of the arguments, step out of this whole thing, get out of those threads. Okay. And you know what? Focus on what God is trying to do today. All them things that's coming up is nothing more than a distraction to keep you off of what God is getting ready to do. He's getting ready to do a shaking, and he's getting ready to shake the foundations of the heavens and the earth. And guess what? Sage and all that's going to fall with it. So focus on doing what God wants you to do. Get in his presence, get in prayer, get in your word, so that your focus will be on him, his call, what he wants you to do in these last days, and being ready, being diligent, saving souls, doing the work in these last days. Don't get caught up in petty, useless arguments. It's nothing more than a distraction. All right, guys? I'm going to bed now.